Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Pears On A Pod. We've got a very special guest this week, but first of all, I have to introduce the man that is so happy this week with me and every single Port Adelaide person to say how ecstatic he is. Jack Hudson, my co-host. How are you, buddy?
Oh, over the moon. We've won a game. Let's go. Oh, this is magic. But as per usual, Ant, this is still the highlight of my week, and I'm very excited.
Yes, it is the highlight of the week. It is a little bit earlier this week too, but we were that eager to get this going. We had to do it early in the week. Our special guest this week is none other than a 117-game player. He kicked 27 goals. 114 of those games were at Port Adelaide. He wore number 44. I welcome T-shirt Tommy Logan. Tommy, welcome to the Pears On A Pod.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you on, mate. And very first and foremost, I do want to introduce you as the hardest, toughest guest I reckon we've had so far. And I'm a little bit surprised you don't have a bandage already strapped on with a piece of blood coming out of your eye or something.
Yeah, well, I'm only your sixth guest, I think, and your last one was Dab, so you're not setting the fucking standard too high.
Like
already roasted.
Like that, you already rocked up for one game of the year, old Dav. So
yeah, I'm glad I went after him, not before him, so I can hang some shit on him, and won't get a return.
Oh, that's bloody good, mate. But so tell us a bit about what you've been doing since your footy days have ended. Playing a bit of footy at Lucendale. So
Yep.
what are you doing around the traps?
Yeah, I'm playing down there at the moment. I have been since I finished at Port. Funny enough, I finished at Port. My brother was coach. My older brother Sam was down there and sort of hit me up when I finished at Port to go down and play a few games. And that was 2016. And I sort of went down. He said, "I'll play 3 to 5 games and try and get you for finals and that." And I think that year I ended up playing 12, and I just loved it. Like I just went down there and great community and great footy club, and fell in love with the place really. Won a flag there as my brother was coach the next year, 2017, and been there since, and sort of back this year for one last year, so having one last crack down there, and it's a great place to be down there, and enjoy it down there, and other than that, just 2017 I think it was as well, started a carpentry apprenticeship, and sort of went that way. Did some carpentry, then done my apprenticeship, and there's a bit of gardening in there, chucked in there in between for a year. I sort of got laid off at work and had to find another job, so I went to work with my mate. But it's been good. And my wife's had kids now, so we got 3 kids. So life's pretty busy. We it's changed a fair bit, but it's been the best probably 6 years of my life, really. The whole parent thing and everything, and it's been good.
It's good to hear, because everyone that we've had so far has had a pretty damn good life after footy, which can be a big adjustment. We'll take it back though to 2004, drafted to Brisbane. Tell us about your days at the Lions, mate, and how that all panned out.
Yeah, it was good. 2004 was when I got drafted, and sort of went up to Brisbane, and they just done the last 3 grand finals they'd won. So they'd done the three-peat, and go up there, and you got Vossi and Lynch, and fucking you go through the team now. It's just insane, really. Like you go through their list at that stage, and it's just you sit there and name 18 players, and then you forget another 5. There was gun players playing in their reserves, but went up to Brizzy out of Darwin. So played in Darwin for the Waratah Footy Club, and that's where I got drafted out of. And so for me, wherever, if I was to get drafted, I was going to be moving away from home. And my parents were actually in Adelaide, so I was up in Darwin with my brother. That's where I lived up there with him. But I don't know, I went to Brizzy and had a few NT boys there who I played footy with. So I sort of fit right in, and it was a great place to live. I really enjoyed Brizzy, and learned a lot. Spent a lot of time in the Reggies, and only played the 3 games, and sort of had a fair share of injuries as well. But at the end of the day, I got delisted and got a call from Choco, invite me out to train at Port, and that's sort of where my AFL career begun, really. Like it, I know I had 2 years at Brisbane and that, but most of my memories and is all at Port, and it's then 2 years at Brisbane, a bit of a distant memory, to be honest with you. There's some good times I remember in that, and the Mad Mondays up there were fucking mad. They were, that was crazy. Yeah, they were crazy. That was pretty much the first thing when we got up there. One of the first things you learn is about their Mad Mondays, and that was But good times. They being in Brizzy too, not being a AFL state, especially back then. They won the 3. So Brisbane, the Lions were big, but still your rugby league or union state, and so you could sort of get away with a fair bit of shit up there as well. It was good. But glad I ended up at Port, obviously, and because I don't think, even though we were to stay in Brisbane for another 1 or 2 years, I don't think it was really probably going to go anywhere. So, really fortunate to here in Adelaide. So,
So, what was probably the craziest Mad Monday story out of the lot? Do you reckon that you could probably tell us?
They had this thing like the beep test, and the first 2 year players had to do it like beep test at Mad Monday, where they had the like table set up at one end and table set up the other end. And Craig McRae, funny enough, obviously AFL coach now, Craig McRae was one of the funniest blokes I ever met. And for those who know him, really funny. And Mad Monday was his grand final, and they had this thing, the beep test, right? So the first year and second year players had to do it. My first year, I remember I did it, and I was pretty shit. They had heaps and everything, and the older players would actually bet on it, right? They'd bet on it, and so it was the first, second year players, and then whoever won it the year before. So the second year player won it the year before, he'd come back to defend his title. That was I remember Merritt, Big Dan Merritt.
Yes.
He was a mad drink. He was a mad drink. He just my first year, he just killed everyone. And then my second year, I thought, fuck, I'm gonna have a crack at this. So I gone through the heat, and there's someone actually walking around with like a bucket too, like a spew bucket. So if you need to chuck, you chuck in the bucket. But I think it was you get 2 spews or something, and then you're out. Anyway, I remember I was my first year. I reckon it was Justin Sherman. I was going against him, and there was 2 heats, I think, and it was me and him left, and I was struggling. I had a bit of a chuck and kept going, and he had a chuck. I was almost about to pull out, and then I just climbed this wall, and I just fucking started draining him, like really just. So we got through to the final, and then it was me, Dan Merritt, and a few others. Same thing happened. Last 2, me and Dan Merritt, and same thing happened. I was gone for all money, and then I just somehow you just climb a wall, and it's like it goes somewhere else down there, and you just and I beat him, and buddy, that was me bloody highlight. Like, you got a shirt, and got a shirt, and I think I said, I forget who it was. I said before the final, I said to him, I'll win this. I'll make sure I will. Like, I just put your money on me. And he's like, all right, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, put your money on me. I'll make sure I win. I was fine away, and somehow buddy beat him. But there were good times. There was that, and there was another one where me first year. I'm not sure if this story's ever been said, to be honest with you. But
exclusive.
But things up there got pretty crazy. But it was so I got drafted up there, and one of the first, might even been the first weekend, the second weekend. I won't tell the whole story because there's a lot of things that can't be said. But Jonathan Brown at the time, I remember going up there, and Jonathan Brown being this, I was this big old butt. He's been around, and he's played all these games, and he would have only been 23. He would have only been probably 5 years older than me or something. But me thinking that he was this big grown man that had done everything, and he says to us, all right, first year players and a couple of second year players and a couple of older ones, we're going on this. I'm taking you to the races. All you need to know is you got to be at the Gabba Saturday morning at blah blah whatever. It's like fucking 9 o'clock in the morning or something. So we all meet at the Gabba, and all us young boys are a bit excited, but also a bit nervous, like what's going on here, sort of thing. And get to the bus, and he's like, this bus. He's like, all right, boys, first year's up the back of the bus. There's a fucking esky there. It's going to be finished by the time we get to the races. And we get up there, and they just won the 3 premiership. You open this esky, and they've got all these cans, and they're all like the 3-peat premiership. So they got all these, it's all free piss. But and we're getting towards, so like, I've been to Brisbane and gone to Goldie a few times, but never really hadn't done it that trip. So I didn't know really where it was like, what was it called? Like Magic Buddy, some racing meet up there, like horse racing. I'm not into it, but anyway, so we didn't really know where we were at in the trip. Like, we're getting close, and then we find out we're fucking half an hour away. And we're not even halfway through this drink, so we're just back. Anyway, that was the start, and we ended up going to the races, and big day, and on the way home, Brownie's mates Brownie had 2 mates from, I don't know where they were. Warrnambool, I think he's from Warrnambool, is he? Warrnambool?
I think so. It was around that.
Yeah. Is that country Victoria?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Anyway, yeah. Shit got out of control on the bus on the way back, and yeah, we end up having a bloody. Gee, I won't go into full story, but end up Brownie's mates just got a bit out of control, and end up having to chip in about $1,000 each for the bloody repairs of the bus and shit. This is like my first week at the club, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. I remember getting off the bus, and we met all the other boys back in Brizzy, and I was off, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, good night," and like just kept going. And Shatsy, who obviously ended up at Port, he was taking care of me at the time I was staying at his. He come in the room the next morning like, "Bang bang," he's like, "Mate, we got to go meet Brownie and a couple of boys at the cricket, or the oval, bloody whatever it's called, down there, the training oval." So we went down there, and yeah, sure enough, we were in strife, and that it wasn't a great start, but at least all the first year boys were in the same boat as me. So we I think it was about $1,300 that we had to chip in each, and I hadn't been paid my first pay yet. So I'm like, where the fuck am we get $1,300 from?
Bloody hell.
Yeah, but we all figured it out. But yeah, I mean, there's a hell of a lot more to the story, but I'll just leave it at that. Yeah,
that's fair. And then, of course, moving across to Port, and your first game was against Port, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. My first game for Bridge was against Port. It was Amy Stadium, and it was like the grand final rematch. The 2016, 2015, 2005. Sorry, 2005 would have been. So, yes, I don't know. One of the first. I don't think it was round 1 though. I can't remember, but yeah,
it was round 2.
Yeah. Round 2.
Yeah, round 2. I think it was.
I remember those were the days too. Like, I remember I didn't get on the ground until 5 minutes ago in the second quarter, like before half time. And I reckon I still came off before half time. Like, those were the days where the whole rotation thing wasn't a thing yet. Like, it wasn't like keep the players fresh. It was just like, we got these guns, we'll keep them out in the field. We got this little kid who doesn't bloody play a game, we'll keep him on the bench. So, but no, it was it actually ended up being a good game. I think I vaguely remember Acker kicking a goal late in the game, and I was like, shit, we might win this. I reckon Bridgie lost by it was less than a goal. I reckon it was pretty close.
2 points, because we were up by a
mile,
2 points,
and then
nearly blew it.
Yeah,
remember that game? Not fun.
Yeah,
but you'll move across to Port. What was that initial conversation with Choco like, just to bring you across?
You can't really. Peter Road called me. I remember talking to my manager and him saying, "Oh, look, you look," because Brisbane offered me a contract during the year, and halfway through my second year, and I'd just done my shoulder, and so I was coming. I hadn't had the op yet. I was going to have the op at the end of the season, but and my manager was like, "Look, mate, you're playing good footy. Like, I reckon, it was a 1-year contract." He goes, "Look, I reckon." They almost offered you 2 years at the start of the year. Like, I reckon just hold off. They said they're going to leave it on the table. I mean, it's not going to go off the table. So it's there. It's there to sign at the end of the year or whatever. And then I think Brisbane at the end of that year had a bit of a fall and bit of a clean out sort of thing. So I remember the manager calling me and saying, "Look, you're about to your meeting tomorrow. You're going to get delisted sort of thing. But, let me know. When you have your meeting, come out, call me, and I'll contact Peter." So within probably an hour of the meeting, I got a call from Rhodey, and it wasn't anything set in stone. He just said, "Look, if you want to come train with us, you would love to have you train for pre-season." You could do that back then. So I pretty much trained the whole preseason. And then the draft come around, and didn't get picked up in the draft. They didn't draft me, and then the preseason draft and whatever. So it ended up getting a spot, which was good. And that's sort of how it began. At one stage there, I think there was a bit of chat with another club. I can't even remember who, to be honest with you. But at the time, I remember thinking I ended up getting pretty nervous before that last draft. Thinking, shit, this might not happen, But fortunate enough, it did. So it worked out well.
Did you when you moved to Port Adelaide and not having that expectation of what the club would be like, and then getting all of that knowledge put into your head about what Port Adelaide's about and the history, how was that experience for you when you first came to the club?
Yeah, well, like I said, I lived in NT, I lived in Alice and Darwin, and before that, I did live in country SA. I lived in the southeast, so in Bordertown and Narracourt. But so I knew about Port Adelaide. I didn't know much about the SNFL, but funny enough, I remember being in Alice and me and brother there, sitting watching the grand finals pretty much every year on the Sunday, and Port Adelaide always being in the final, and just I knew that. I didn't necessarily have a team, but I knew that Port Adelaide were the best team. I knew that they were the toughest team. I knew no one liked them. I knew that they were in the grand final every year, if not every second year. I knew they were the best. And if you asked me anything about any other club, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. Maybe a bit about Glenelg because they're affiliated with the southeast, but that I couldn't have told you a player from any other team, sort of thing. So I sort of knew a bit about Port Adelaide and sort of what the perception of them was, I guess. But then coming to Port, they teach you pretty early on about the history and all that. And at the club, you got Russ working there, and spent a lot of time with Russ in the CYP program, and you learn so much off him and just his passion for the footy club, and you learn it all pretty quick, and it's a pretty special place to be. People, I think, outside of Adelaide, and even some people in Adelaide that don't like to admit it, it's a pretty bloody special place. So I consider myself very fortunate to be a part of that, and
100%. I think, and you go through to your debut, which was Geelong round 15, 2006 for Port Adelaide. I remember this game because it was at Skilled Stadium at the time, and we lost by, I think, 4 points. Going down there, 4 or 10 points or something around that mark, but
missed
you made your debut.
I remember that.
How was your debut, your experience, and how did you feel on that day?
Because obviously back then you're playing the SNFL. I was playing for Glenelg, and I wasn't on the senior list, so I had to sort of wait for a spot. And I thought I was playing some decent footy for Glenelg. I think it got towards the end of the year. I think was it Peter? Actually, Gav was the one that got on the long-term injury list. Maybe, Gavin Wanger.
Yeah, it was Gav.
Anyway. Anyway, so there was a spot, so I got elevated, and I just remember thinking I just remember thinking that here's my opportunity, and if I don't take it, sort of thing, I think it was maybe 6 or 7, 8 games left in the season, so I thought if I take the opportunity here, I'm a chance to play out the season, and who sort of knows what happens after that. But it was to be honest with you, I don't really remember much about that. I remember one of my first kicks, I reckon I kicked the point, but to be honest with you, I can't really remember much about the game, but I remember losing. But it was a pretty special moment. Like I said, to be able to play for Port Adelaide and that, and not being on the senior list, I guess you go through the season wondering if you're even going to get a game, like if the opportunity's going to come or not. I think these days you can just get elevated whenever, I think. But
pretty much.
You had to pretty much wait for a long-term injury list player back then. But I'll probably remember more about other games that year than probably that Geelong one, funny enough. But but that's pretty special moment.
And your first win, though, surely that was massive for you. It was up in Darwin, so it
Yeah,
would have been really special for you.
Yeah, first win up and down. I think I kicked my first goal that game too. It was a bloody shocker. It was a set shot, and I kicked it, and I was thinking it was going to swing back away from goal, and actually swung through the middle, and I was like, "Shit, take that!" But I gave it a bit, and I don't think anyone knew it was my first goal. No one got around me, but
stitch up.
That's all right. But yeah, we won. I think that game. I had a photo for a while. It had Nick Lower, who's a good mate of mine, and Matty Thomas, Greg Bentley. Yeah, that was it. It was us four in the middle of the circle. There's a photo that I had for a while, but I don't know where it's gone. But obviously that was good. And then being able to catch up with mates after the game up and down too. Being able to relax a bit and have a few drinks because we won and sort of get that. I don't know, that might have been my 6th, 7th game or something, and finally get a win. So, because at Brizzy, I didn't plan to win. It was good. And, good time.
That was against the Western Bulldogs, I think, wasn't it? That was.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was with Bulldogs.
That was the game I was telling you about, Huddo, where we kicked 14 goals, 21, and Michael Pettigrew kicked 3.
Yes.
Petters. One of the great men, Petters.
There's some intel about Petters and a certain nickname that I won't mention on the podcast that I've been told about. But a few people have mentioned that to me. But tell us about your teammates across the journey at Port Adelaide. Who was one that stood out that was probably a bit left field that you got along with really well?
To be honest with you, there's actually that many I could sit here and keep naming, but left field. I mentioned Nick. I won't mention him again, but I had some good times with Nick Lower. Probably, he's probably one left field sort of thing. Nick Lower, probably from the start, he came to the club the same time I did, and I don't know, we just got along really well, and same sort of personalities, and sort of played the same sort of way as well, and you just get up to a bit of trouble, me and him. But no, it was probably him. He's in Sydney now. He was a groomsman from Wild Wedding. I was a groomsman for his.
Oh, nice.
He's married in Sydney now with 2 girls, and two girls he's got. So he's up there, and catch up with him every now and again. So it's good.
Go back as well, like we talked about 06, but the following year, obviously not the end result we wanted, but to play in a grand final, how special was that to be able to do that in pretty much your 3rd year?
It was. It was a pretty special moment. It was more probably. I remember the Bulldogs, the North Melbourne game the week before, probably more. That was that was one of them games where, probably 10 minutes into the third, really 15 minutes into the third, you think, fuck, we're actually going to win this, we're going to play in a grand final, and I only came into the team. I reckon that game where we played Geelong down there. I think I played the first few games of the year, and then I got injured, and I came back. I don't know what I did, but I got dropped after a few games, and then I went back to Glenelg, and I got injured back to Glenelg, and I'm not sure how many games I missed, but it wasn't until sort of late-ish in the season where I came back to Glenelg and played a few games, and then Choco gave me a chance, and we played down at Geelong and sort of held my spot from there, and that was that game where
Dom kicked the winner.
I think Dom kicked the goal with 5 seconds or something to go on his left. He actually kicked the goal, and he's done a circle, and he's run up to me and jumped on me, and I don't know if you've ever seen the vision. I've cramped, so he's jumped on me. I've caught him, and then I've just cramped, and we've both stacked it. We've both gone down.
I thought it was part of the celebration.
After the game, your brother Sam was ringing me and just absolutely spraying me, and I remember getting up, and we were near the bench, and I sort of ran towards the pine there. I was like, not knowing there was 4 seconds left, not knowing we were pretty much won the game. And I sort of got off the bench there and sort of ran in front and jumped down. I got just trying to touch my toe, and these Geelong fans on the boundary like spraying me, like back into me. Like, I sort of looked. I remember I looked at Arnie and I was like, Arnie, like how much time's left? And Arnie's just like smiling at me like, we've got this. Like, how much time's left? He's like 3 seconds. So I turned these Geelong supporters and I just started fucking giving it to him.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, there's probably shit you couldn't get away with these days, but my cramp had all of a sudden gone. Like, I was up on my feet and I started giving it to them. And they're all like, yeah, but we won it yet, mate. And I said, fucking listen for this. We won it, you know. And obviously the siren went, and that was I think that was one of my first games back that year. And then I sort of held my spot. And then I think I played pretty shit against the Eagles in the first final. But I spoke to Choco during that week and before the North Melbourne game, he sort of said, we're not sure we're going to pick you this week. We'll, see how you go. We might need to bring someone in who can kick goals and put scoreboard, score on the scoreboard sort of thing. And I pretty much said to Choco that I'll kick you 2 goals if you're playing me sort of thing. Cause I felt like I sort of had to say it, but I didn't actually believe it. But I said it to him and then somehow, snagged the 2 goals. So, and running around in that last quarter, just playing for a grand final next week was pretty special.
Like that last goal, basically it was just a complete just cherry on top of a very well lit cake, and just you'd be carrying around like you weren't sort of like Chad and Treaders, but did you have a sort of celebration you may have wanted to do?
Are you talking about the last goal in the prelim?
Your last goal, yeah.
I can't actually remember it, to be honest with you, but I do remember kicking one on the halftime siren, and the siren went like a second before I bloody kicked it. Went through the guts, and I was like, oh. And I knew I heard the siren, but I remember Serge running up and jumping on the siren went. I actually don't remember that last goal I kicked in the prelim. What did I do?
I don't know. Went through the big sticks. That's what I was up.
All right, that's all and done.
Yeah, exactly it.
I think it was on the run going into the. Yeah, it was on the run. I definitely remember being on the run. And I think it was before Treaders kicking the bow goal, actually.
Oh, yeah. Well, that bow goal was actually a bit of a bloody wasn't a great kick, was it? Like it sort of, if I remember correctly, he kicked it up in the air and obviously went to the big sticks, but it sort of floated through or something, did it?
Yeah, it got its way through.
It went at all angles.
Did it? Yeah.
And then went through.
Bowed, so, yeah.
That was also with Stephen Salopek kicking a nice little goal in that quarter too.
Was it? Yeah.
We'll get to later.
But
yeah.
But obviously, after that grand final, it was all pretty tough in terms of different things. So you've seen the highs, you've seen the lows, and then you've seen the highs again. How crazy was it to be as a part of a sort of really roller coaster time at the club?
I guess the first year we didn't make finals. The second year we obviously played in the grand final. I think even after the grand final, I think there was just a consensus among the group that we'll get back, sort of thing. We probably weren't expecting to make it that year, and we did. So shit, what's the future going to hold, sort of thing. But we just, I guess, we all know what happened from there, and it was there were some hard times at the club, and sort of to get to where we were when I finished, when the club was heading on the way back up. It was it was good. I spent my last 2 years. I don't know. I think I only played a few games in my second last year. My last year I didn't even play any games. I played in the Maggies, but I sort of had chat to Kenny and that. And I knew my role within the group. Like I knew that I wasn't expected to play AFL. I was sort of like a mentor for like the younger Maggies players coming through, and you sort of you don't look at it different. Like you're still sort of a player, but you sort of sit back and enjoy it a bit more, I guess. And seeing the boys, I still remember the 14 final against Richmond, and sitting up at Adelaide Oval there and just watching that first quarter, that just packing on goals, blokes running past Chappie and giving it to him, and I just remember, you know, it was almost a bit rewarding, even though I wasn't out there. You know, I was fucking, how good is this? This is what's meant to be like, and you know, and that year, you know, we were bloody unlucky not to, I guess, play in a grand final as well, and so yeah, I mean, I experienced both. Obviously, the highs are a lot better than the lows, but you still find highs within the lows. I think, whether it be, you know, little wins along the way, or I think as a playing group, we actually stuck together really well. You know, our captain at the time being Dom, you know, he was a great leader, and him and Boki, I think him and Boki, even when Boki wasn't captain, but him and Boki really held the group together. And we were a close group. We weren't playing good footy, but we were all fucking great mates. We all got along. And, you know, unfortunately on the field, it wasn't going the way we wanted to, but it wasn't through hard work or, you know, not respecting one another or any of that. So to sort of see, you know, Boki take over the captaincy and obviously head up the other way was pretty rewarding, yeah.
You talk about moments, obviously on the field wasn't great, but for you personally, there was a particular moment, round 4, 2009 against Hawthorn at the MCG, in that beautiful clip art, Port Adelaide Guernsey with the lightning bolt, taking what should have been mark of the year that year. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, that was my first game that year. That was round 4. Choco brought me in and to play on Hodgie, actually, funny enough, to play on him. And I guess Cripple was a backline coach then, and I hadn't played much backline. Pretty much from then on, I'd played – actually, sorry, Hodgie was playing for half back. So maybe I had just gone to the back line. Cripple was the forward line coach. Maybe I'd just gone to the back line and started playing back – it started, you know, playing in a different area, whereas I'd always been played as a forward or a midfielder. I'd never played back until probably 2008 or something like that. And Cribber just saying, look, we want you to play on Hodge. We just want you to be a, you know, a CUNT sort of thing, and just sort of bash him and you know, just not let up. And I was just a bloody arsehole pretty much that day. I remember him just fucking being annoyed with me. You know, the ball's up the other end of the ground. I'm just hitting his arms, just like hitting him. And then, and like, you imagine him. He would have been turning around going, who's this fucking little prick? You know, like, who's this prick think he is? But yeah, I don't know. Like, it was one of them things where I think the more he got a touch early in the game. I think he didn't mind a shot at goal and he missed it. But the more I got on top sort of him, and I think I snagged one a bit. I think I got him holding the ball or something, by memory. I got him holding the ball in because half time I'd kept him to sort of not much, and then it was obvious when they came out, he was like the red jumper. It was like, give it a fucking Hodgie. And he ran around the back of this thing, and I was on his tail. Like, I was pretty much holding his Guernsey already. And they handballed to him. I was tackling him and got him holding the ball and kicked this easy goal. And I think just confidence from there just sort of grew. And then I just saw my opportunity and fucking took it. And I played through me juniors and all that. Like, I'm obviously not the most athletic footy player in that, but my jump's probably something that I've always sort of backed myself in jumping. I've always, you know, it's probably out of all that side, I'm not fast and all that, but I've always sort of had a bit of a leap in me. So I've always sort of backed myself and yeah, I guess I saw the opportunity and jumped up and it surprised myself a bit, but yeah, come down with it. So it was a pretty special moment. It's the one thing that talking, you know, people come and talk to you about footy and they want to know, you know, it's the one thing that just comes up consistently, you know. Everyone sort of remembers that one thing. So I often wonder, like, if I didn't do that, like, would anyone even fucking remember me, you know? But it's all good today.
You took it in front of Wazza as well, so Treaders was copped a bit
of
it as well.
Yeah, 2 Hall of Famers, yeah. But I do remember, like, taking the mark and walking back going, there's no chance I'm kicking this. I'd missed the goal before I even kicked it. Like I would have been the most surprised person in bloody Australia if I put it through the big stick. So I was just like, shit, I was exhausted. I was like, fuck, well, I'll kick a point here and buddy set up. But yeah, it was a pretty special moment, especially sort of coming in and not being the most talented player in the team and having a good win that day too. Like we had a good win. They won the grand final the year before. I think they might even started 0-4 that year. I think they'd had a few bad losses and then we knocked them off. And I was after the game, I'll always say that the best part of footy is not what's on the field. It's that 2 hours after a win or 2 or 3 hours after a win. And that day sitting around in the change rooms was pretty special.
Yeah, that was a day, I think, as well. Treaders kicked 6. You've parked yourself on top of Treaders and 2 Hall of Famers. And I think it's something else happened as well that day. I know Hamish Hartley made his debut, I think, as well that day and had 20-odd touches.
And he played bloody well, yeah. I do remember that. Yep, he do, yep.
So that was
the only downside, like you said, was the Guernsey. That was the only
that bloody thing.
What went through the group's mind when that was brought out to be worn? Because a lot of people have it as merchandise, but they don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the best with like fashion and all that shit. Like I can't see all the colours. I don't have great eyes, but so for me to look at it and go, shit, that's not good. It wasn't. It wasn't a great start, but I reckon on the last podcast you had with Jace, I think Jace said the socks were white. Weren't they teal? Were they teal socks or not? They might have been teal.
I thought they were. I thought they were white, but they could. They might have alternated.
Yeah. Okay. Shit. No, I don't know. Look, like I said, I'm colourblind, so for me to pick up that they were fucking terrible was, it was
I think that's a good segue into the segment, Ant.
Yeah, it's time to go into our new segment that we brought out last week. Jason Davenport is a very heavily requested segment to be back. It is random Port Adelaide merch, and Huddo, you can kick us off this week, mate.
I found a very special one, actually, and I don't know how I did, but it is a 2008 Planet Teal cap.
Oh, yeah.
Hey!
It's got a lot of signatures. I reckon that might even be yours, Tommy.
Yeah, that's mine. Funny enough, that signature. I was sitting in Darwin, I remember I was sitting in Darwin at a signing session next to Kane Corns, and he said, "Look at your bloody signature. It's terrible." This would have been like 2011, maybe 2012. And I said to him, "Oh, this is like my signature, like my legit one. Like this is the one I've had since I was 14. Like this, this is on the back of my bank card. Like, and it was. It's still now. That's my signature on the back. It's terrible. But so he actually from about 2012 or something onwards, I changed it. So I don't know if you've seen any recent merch from then, but it actually changed. So I went to Tom Logan after that too, sort of different. Yeah, but
nice.
Yeah, I didn't want anyone stealing my credit card and buddy fucking signing for it because
fancy Kane Corns. That is the most Kane Corns thing I've ever heard to get shitty at someone's signature.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few signatures on there. Ladies up the top. There's I'm pretty sure Sow's is on here. So
good. If you have anything from that era, you've got to have Sal on it, Huddo. Yeah. But Tommy, what's your random merch? You've been pumping this up even before we put record on. Tell us.
Yeah. Well, it's something like it didn't jump to my mind straight away, but when I was playing at Port, there used to be this sort of pile of I guess mail and random stuff that was sent to players that didn't maybe don't know what it was, but they used to have all these football cards in it, all these and And they sat there for years. And one day I thought to myself, because when I was younger, me and Sam, my older brother, used to collect like basketball cards and shit, like when I was maybe 10 or 12 or something like that. And I thought one day I think I was getting maths. I was going through it and I thought, this would be something good to keep. And for, back then didn't have any kids, but to show me kids one day to say, these are the blokes I played football with, like these were my teammates back in the day, whenever one day they asked and they want to know about, my footy career. So I started grabbing them and then one day I thought, shit, I should just get the boys to sign them. So I ended up I've got about 100 different cards here.
Oh,
yes!
Of the boys that I played footy with. And there's a Dav one there, and he's written up the top, the Grace. He used to call himself the Grace of 41. So there's some personal little notes on. That's Kane Corn's written to my master. To my master, I owe you. So I'm not sure what he owed me, but he hasn't fucking paid. So there's some cool ones, but I haven't actually touched it since I finished at Port. I forgot about it until I was actually thinking of something for this part of the pod. But I was going through it today, and I actually come across this one here, which is pretty special. So that's the J Mac.
Oh, Johnny Mac.
Oh, J Mac. Yes.
So it's I actually didn't know I had that because I haven't looked at it since I finished. But it's pretty cool that I've got that. So I'll probably start at maybe 2011 or something. So it doesn't date all the way back. There's probably over 100 in there. So
nice.
it's pretty cool. Something to show the kids when they're older, and if they care about footy or care about what I did, I'll show them that and show them my teammates. So
Bloody oath, that is sick. Yeah, it's actually lived up to the hype, and I'm ecstatic. That is awesome.
Good.
I love that. That is that is easily the best of the segment so far. We've had it for 2 weeks, but it's the best of the segment so far.
Here's me with my shitty hat. And
I don't even know if I want to show mine now.
Yeah, go on, Ed.
All right. It's on the wall. I've actually got to move the tripod. It's just the 2014 Adelaide Oval, memorabilia of the Oval. And there's obviously Travis Blake in there.
Yeah.
Has to be.
So I've got to have that in there, but that hangs up on my wall. That's pretty special. And being there that day was pretty sick. So,
that is the showdown, wasn't it?
Yeah. That is the most random, high quality Port merch you'll see in my house.
It's better than the hat.
And that again goes into the files of rinsing Huddo.
All right, I'm going to come with some high quality stuff for next week, and I've got one sitting right next to me that I'm ready to wheel out because it's just outrageously random. But I'll save it.
I love the fact that Tommy's just gone, nah, I'm rinsing you. Better than the hat. That's elite.
Now's the segment where I do get rinsed quite often, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is the start of the pod now where we start rinsing him. Tommy, it's time to go into our next segment. This is quick fire questions. They're not that quick. They're not that fire, but they are very good with the answers. Are you ready to take part?
I am. Yep.
All right. Let's start with question number one. Your favorite TV show?
I heard this last week. I listened to Dabs. I don't know. Like I watch a bit of TV. I don't watch it shitload, but a random one. Remember Banshee?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be my favorite. It wouldn't be my favorite, but it's something that I thought I'd throw in from out of nowhere. It's a bit. If you haven't seen it, there's probably about 4 seasons. I reckon the main actor's Aussie even, but I don't even know his name. But that was pretty cool. It was very very unrealistic, but it was good. But other than that, I pretty much watched The Office. Like I love the UK version come out. When that come out, me and Fabian DeLuca lived with each other, and me and Fabs watched that bloody that many times. There's only a couple of seasons in the UK one, but then the American one come out, and I had pretty high expectations, and then but it's grown on me over the years, and I'm just happy to sit back in bed and put The Office on, pretty chilled out, and don't really have to think too much about it.
That is a great call. Great. Banshee leading into The Office. There you go.
With Fabian DeLuca.
Yeah.
Could have been
That's a trifecta.
Could have been my player, but
the obscure.
Yes.
Your karaoke song.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'll go left field again and say Cowboys from Hell from Pantera. Why Pantera?
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, that is left field.
It's very left field, and I would not do a good job of it, but I'd chuck that in there.
I rate that. Are you joining Huddo on the island, or are you actually not a Simpsons fan? Because I want to know your favourite Simpsons character.
I don't mind the Simpsons. I prefer Family Guy. If I was going to watch one, I prefer the Family Guy over. But I did hear Dav last week bag it out, so I thought I wouldn't go that far. But probably Barney.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Barney. That's
take that,
sick.
Dav.
Rest easy, Huddo. Rest easy.
Oh, no.
Your favourite flavour of potato chip?
Does it have to be a chip? Can it be like tubes?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like tubes. Like they've obviously gone away, come back, gone away, and come back again. Maybe that's why I like them. So when they come back, I haven't had them in a while. But I like tubes, chicken twisties.
Yes.
I'll go with tubes. I actually prefer them more than the actual like potato chip themselves, like like their salt and vinegar and all that. Like they're all good, but I'd rather I'd even have a burger before I have a potato chip.
All right,
I was a bit crazy when I was a kid. Like with burger rings, I used to crush them up for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
No, I didn't do that. No.
Smart.
All right, Tommy. These are the questions that really just grind people's gears. What is there more of, doors or wheels?
Yeah, I heard this last week with Dav as well, and Dav tried to make it sound like it was obviously doors, but I probably agree with him, but I don't think it's as black and white as what he made it. Like, you think it depends what type of wheels, like there's that many. Have you ever been in Amsterdam or Europe or anything like that?
I haven't. No.
There's that many more bikes than there are cars. Obviously, prams. Like prams don't have doors, but they got 4 wheels. Lawnmowers got 4 wheels. You start talking like even wheels of cheese. There's wheels of cheese. There's wagon wheels. There's a lot of type of wheels that aren't. It's not as black and white as what he made it. Like I understand the Ferris wheel and there's more doors than the carriages and that, but you got to specify what type of wheels there are, and I think there's a lot more things that have wheels that don't have doors, which
that's probably
no.
But I'll probably still, in saying that, probably doors still, but I don't think it's as black and white as what Dav made it sound.
You make a very convincing lawyer, Tommy.
Well, he sort of answered it and said, "Don't ask this question again." Like I've answered it for you. He reckons he's always got the answers that like, but
Holy!
I don't think it's as bad as the question as what he made it sound.
I rate it. He salvaged the question there.
He has. He definitely has. And also, there's a multiverse of wheels now that I've just experienced from Tom Logan's explanation, which is that's
wagon wheels.
That's insane. Yes. Wagon wheels and wheels of cheese. That's incredible. Tommy Logan, what is your favourite flavour of shape?
Yeah, probably barbecue. I'll stick with what pretty
Come
much.
On! There you go.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't mind pizza, but barbecue is pretty obvious to me.
Yes, Huddo. Yes, Huddo.
You're gonna get a 22 of barbecue shapes lovers before I get one ally with my crimpy shapes.
I can't wait, to be honest, because you don't deserve any.
I thought you were pizza. You're crimpy.
No, I am a crimpy man. Big crimpy man. Love crimpy shirts.
Yeah, he's a crimp simp.
Doesn't make sense to anybody.
Tommy Logan, are you a Maxi Bond fan?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I love them. Yeah.
So which end do you eat from?
I hold the biscuit and eat the chocolate end. I eat the.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm glad because there's been a few. Exactly.
We've had people not on the pod before that have said they've gone the biscuit end first, which is frightening.
Well, there's a shitload of different flavors now. You know, there's like 5 different flavors.
Oh yeah, Maxwell's great.
Yeah.
Caramel's a good one. I really like the caramel biscuit one. Yes. Caramel biscuit one is really, really enjoyable. Huddo, should we get into our other segments?
Yes, absolutely, we should, mate.
All right, let's go into our pair player of the week, and I'm going to kick it off this week because I never get to kick it off.
Oh, you're the host.
And I know, but I want my time in the sun.
Yeah.
And speaking of time in the sun, this bloke deserves all the credit, and he won the Peter Badco medal, Mr. Connor Rosie.
Yes.
Stood up after a fantastic probably effort last week against Carlton, has been rinsed by the outside media and a few Port fans as well along the way in the first month of the year, but he stood up, had 30-odd touches. I don't think he kicked a goal on the weekend, but he was unbelievable in the midfield and, you know, deserves all the credit, and particularly the Peter Badco medal because he showcased his skills, and it was just great to see Connor absolutely shine, Huddo.
Absolutely. No, that's a good kick, Ant, and I'm very surprised it's not Trav.
Well, you know, I was just in case someone else wanted to pick Trav for a change, you know. But who's yours, Huddo?
Mine, I'll go with Sam Powell-Pepper because he's an absolute beast, and some of the second efforts that he put forward, I think he leapt over another West Coast player to tackle another one in the pocket, which was incredible. I think we're still 10 goals up, and so that sort of effort is just Pep's definitely having a great year, and might be in the top three. Might be in the top three of the best and fairest, I reckon. At the moment,
I like that. Tommy, who's yours?
I actually didn't watch the game. I was playing down at Penola at the time, playing down there against Penola. We had a good win, but I have watched what do they call it, like the condensed version or whatever on Foxtel.
Oh yeah.
So they just show the goals. But I will say this: it's good to see our two of our key forwards kicking bags. They've also copped a fair bit of flack, I think. Finlayson and Marshall, but they've both got the talent, and it's just good to see. Sometimes it just takes a game like that to get their confidence back and really start enjoying footy again and get that first win out. And both of them, it was good to see they both stepped up and kicked 5 each. So I'll just go with the key forwards.
Key forwards, yeah.
I like that.
Key forwards, because they just showed the goals on the condensed thing, so I didn't really see it.
And they kicked majority of them, so that was a big win. Tommy, actually, before we move on to the next one, how did you go on the weekend? Did you play all right, personally?
We played against Penola. We hadn't won down there. I think someone said in 8 or 9 years. We won by 94 points. So it was good. We should have a good, decent team this year down in the KNTFL. It is Carrying Airport League. We should be around the top 4 sort of thing this year. So good start of the year, but we'll see how it goes.
Kick any snags?
I'll check back in stats.
Kick any snags?
I played off the half back, actually. It's the first time I've played back. But no, I kicked one. Actually, I think I kicked one goal 3 or 1 goal 4. So, I had a few pings. I actually said to the coach at half time, goes, all right, boys, we're getting the mids are getting into the forward line a bit too much. Keep the space open. And then I went up to one of the boys and said, he didn't say anything about the fucking backs. I said, what? I said, watch this. I'll kick a goal, and I kicked the first goal after half time. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's all good fun down there. We got a bunch of Scotty Spriggs, one of my best mates, plays with me. We've got a good bunch of 8 or 9 blokes, Adelaide boys here. That the bus sits out the front of my house, the club bus, and we drive down every week, and yeah, it's a good time.
I love that. As a backman, slipping down and kicking a couple of snags. I did that on the weekend myself, Huddo, so I'm pretty up and about it. So
one of those captain's goals that you hear so much about.
Yeah, we got pumped by 80 points, but I still needed to give something, and I've given a snag from the goal line. But anyway, I still celebrated it. As a defender, you got to celebrate every single goal.
Absolutely.
Let's go into our obscure Port Adelaide players this week. Huddo, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so played one season at Port Adelaide. Played 3 games, 2 wins. He also played for Geelong, and of course he played 3 seasons at Geelong, so a total of 21 games. It is, of course, Paul Cooleritis.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Yes. So he played in 2000, then, played for Geelong in 2004. So, yeah, there you go. That is my obscure player weekend.
Tom, who do you have in particular?
Well, I'll change it. I'll go Fabian DeLuca now. I just checked his. It was going to be Jay Nash, but I'll go Fabian DeLuca because he was my housemate. Just looked then 12 games, 1 goal, one of the greats, very good man. Married with 1 kid now, living over in Melbourne, but he's a great fella, and I try to catch up with Fabs every now and again, but we always end up in a bit of trouble when we do. Best we know.
What was the craziest thing Fab ever did at your house, mate?
Fabs did a lot of crazy things, but meant to be bloody professional athletes. But Fabs had this thing about KFC. He wanted to finish the family bucket by himself. So I said to him one night, I said, "I'll buy you the family bucket." When it used to come, it used to come in like the actual, not the box. It used to come in like the
big bucket.
Like the big KFC bucket I've got at the front. It used to come in that. I don't know how many pieces there were. I think it was like 24 or something. Was it 24 pieces?
Yeah,
that. It was full. And I said, "Look, I'll buy it for you if you can finish it." This is like midweek. I'm meant to be bloody eating healthy and shit. And he's fucking finished it. And he's eating it, and chucking all these bones aside. And I remember him just finishing it. I remember him finishing it, standing up and turning the thing upside down and fucking putting it on his head. By the end of it, I reckon at the start there was like 2 boys there. By the end of it, there would have been like 8 boys in the house. All come around to my joint, and they're all fucking sitting there watching, going, "Come on, mate, come on, get through it." So he got through it, the big man. He could eat.
That is.
We go to do our food shopping for the week, and I'd get me food, and I reckon I'd eat 1/5 of it, and he'd eat the other 4/5 and just fucking destroy it. So it was a big eater, man. Big eater.
Big ruckman can eat. That is. That's awesome. Smashed a whole family bucket.
He did.
Oh,
I love that. Big men eat. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. And he actually joined in 2006. He had 1 season at Port Adelaide. He wore the number 9, 4 games, kicked a goal, and that was against Carlton as well. It was James Izard.
Yes.
Another great man.
Only 1 season, and he wore the number 9. I thought we would have seen more of Izard.
Yeah,
I
reckon he was What year did you say that was? 2006?
Yeah, 06.
I reckon he was on the list for the year before I got here. So I reckon he got drafted to first year was 2005, and I reckon he had 2 years, eh?
Probably played 1 year. 2 years at the club.
He only played 1 year, yeah. But
Won a McGarry, I'm pretty sure.
He did. Yeah. Good play.
Is that South Adelaide or Sturt, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
One of the S's, one of the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can list the rest if you want. Let's go into the next segment. This is arguably one of the more favourite segments on the pod, Tommy Logan. We'll get you to kick this one off, but this is...
And Salopek finishes it.
Better Call Sal. This is where we recall our favourite player of the time, Stephen Salopek, and we love this man, Tommy, and I'm sure you spent a lot of time with him. So have you got a couple of stories to share about Stephen Salopek?
I haven't even prepared for this one. I remember Schultz's wedding. Sal wasn't with Port. He'd finished at Port, but it was me. Of out of the players that were playing story, it was just me and the Hoff that went. Maybe me and Westy. Maybe I can't remember. Anyway, at the wedding, Sal was there as well with his partner, and we were all sitting on the same table, and Chappie was there. Like, and this is when Chappie gone to Richmond, and I don't know what happened, but yeah. Anyway, Chappie had been going to Richmond, so there was all these Richmond players there as well, like because obviously Schultz was at Richmond, and so they were all sort of on one side of the room, and all us Port boys were sort of on the other side. There were a few. I think Treaders was there. Sal's definitely there. Westy. There would have been a few others maybe, but and I remember it was getting late at night, and we hadn't really talked. Chubby hadn't really made his way across or whatever, but something happened in the middle table. I think Sal dropped like a glass or something, and it smashed, and it made a mess. Like this fucking table was a mess. And Sal's like, oh, well, we were been drinking, whatever. And then the waitress come over, and the waitress was like, oh, well, what happened here? And I said, oh, I could, like Troy Chaplin, been bloody throwing glasses over here. It was really sour, right? And then I get this fucking grow up blokes, and Chappie was over my shoulder. Grow up blokes. So Chappie was there the whole time. He heard the whole thing, but yeah, it was sour.
That is incredible. That is so good.
I love that so much.
I think that's the second time Troy Chaplin has slid into this segment, man.
I know. He seems to be in the firing line.
He's right. Yeah.
That was the peak Kermit. That's none of my business, meme.
We'll leave it there.
That's funny.
Mine, Ant, because I'm going to make sure that you can go last.
Okay.
Showdown. We have a showdown for South. Showdown.
Ooh.
So last showdown in 2008, where it was an up and down sort of game, and then we just ran over the top and won by 2 goals, and it was magic. Sal hold 2 Brownlow votes and had 33 touches. So big day out for our man.
You got 2 Brownlow votes, not 3 like the one you picked last week.
Yeah. He's slowly going down the pecking order. So I'll find my one next week, and then we'll see how we go.
All right. Well, I'll throw in mine. I reckon this was one of his breakout games in 2006. We played Carlton, and we ended up winning by 40-odd points. He had 31 and kicked a goal, and I'm pretty sure he got 1 Brownlow vote. So he was robbed of votes. Absolutely robbed of votes.
There goes mine for next week. That's unlucky.
Oh, did you write that one down, did you?
No, not really.
Oh, I had to pick one, and it was a nice little one because we enjoyed beating Carlton back in the day. So actually, Tommy, speaking of showdowns, the one that Huddo brought up, we haven't mentioned showdowns in this pod. And before we let you go, I just wanted to talk about the showdowns in your day because you did come in. I think 2008 was one of the more roughest showdowns we've ever played. Brogan knocking out. I can't remember who it was, but we had collisions everywhere. But tell us about your showdown experience throughout the time in your career.
I think I'm pretty sure my record in showdowns was half decent. I reckon it was 5-2. I think I might be wrong. That might be.
Could be right, actually.
Might have to look up, but 5-2. I don't really remember playing really well in any of them, to be honest with you, but which wasn't uncommon. But I do remember just the whole, obviously in Adelaide, the whole build up to it was just unlike any other week, really. Didn't matter where the teams were sitting. My first one was against in 2006 when we won near the end of the year when I came in for that first year and near the end of the year and we had a very young team and we just I think they might have even been going to finals and we weren't, but we just somehow found the win. And that's probably the one I remember the most, even though I think I got injured in the first quarter and I don't even know if I came back on, but I remember that one the most just because of the one of my first games for the club and we weren't expected to win. And I remember after that game, we were so excited. Very young team. That's the one where Chad was, revving up the crowd and all that.
Yeah.
And I remember after the game, like I said before, the best part of footy is not particularly what happens for me, this is obviously not what happens on the field. It's that time afterwards you get to celebrate with teammates in the change rooms and that. It doesn't matter how you personally played. It's more just that fucking feeling of winning and that. And that day, obviously, very special, being a very young team. And we weren't expected to win. And Choco not being a big drinker and don't drink at all. Walking into our aftermatch, we were all stretching and that, and we were sitting in the meeting room at Avi's Stadium there, and all pretty excited, all laughing and all that shit. And Choco walks in. I remember something along the lines. He just goes, "All right, boys, enjoy the night. Don't get anyone get on the fucking front page of the paper, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock." And the whole room's just fucking erupted. So so the post-game meeting was just basically Choco saying, "You've got license to go."
That is awesome.
Just don't fuck up. But and that's something that stands out. But that's probably something that stands out with the showdowns. But I never had one at Adelaide Oval or at Amy, but I think my last one was Kari's last one as well when he won his 10th. But like in terms of like moments, like you said about Brogues, I can't even recall that. But I'm not really good at recalling stuff that sort of happened in games. But maybe too many head knocks. I don't know. But yeah.
Sponsored by Elastoplast, mate.
Yeah, it wouldn't cost the club, did it?
You and Evo back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Just used to half the strapping was just saved for you. That game actually 2006. I will mention that was a game I think Trent Henschel broke his leg.
I used to get my shoulder strapped as well.
That's right.
He did his knee. And, he's actually married to my sister, so so Trent. I've known Trent since I grew up in Darwin. He's a Darwin boy as well, so we were good mates in Darwin. And then he ended up with my sister, and they got married. So even that game when he did that, I remember hurting. I think I hurt my ankle or something. I come down the change room and I came back up and there was the player stopped and whatever, and I sat at the bench and said, "What happened?" They said, "Oh, Henschel done his knee or whatever." I was like, "Oh shit," he's being one of his best mates on the other, even though on the other side, I didn't see anything of it. Like I was down the change rooms, but he's working at the club now, Hench, and he's a Port man now. So
yes, very much so.
Love that. Huddo, is there any last things you'd like to add?
Oh, not really, but yeah, honestly, thank you, Tommy, for joining us. Like, we love watching your career, and I know a lot of Port fans are actually pretty keen to see this one. Bloody hard nut, and it's always fun to watch you play.
Cheers, boys. Cheers for having me. I really like what you're doing. I think it's something that they're doing overseas with podcasts and that, and giving the opportunity for people to learn more about the club or the game and whatever. So I think it's a great thing what you're doing. So cheers for having me on, and I appreciate it. And I hope I did all right.
No, you've done perfectly, Tommy. Don't worry about it. Better than Huddo, that's for sure.
Cheers, boys.